place in the industry.
Moving on from solar to space, aerospace engineer and former ISRO scientist Nambi Narayanan has said Indian space startups must build better products. In an exclusive chat with CNBC-TV18's Jude Sannith on the sidelines of the launch of Tamil Nadu's first space tech startup accelerator, Varnam, Narayanan said he had doubts over whether space tech firms here are worthy of the centre's recently announced 1,000 crore rupee VC fund for space startups. Take a look.
I had, of course, certainly not applied my mind throughout all the startups. But whatever I have heard of the startups, I was not personally happy about it. In the sense that they could have done something much better. See, the take-off platform must be different than what it used to be years back. That's all my main point. Why are we redoing and reinventing the wheel?
Can I get your take on what you hope to impart to these startups that will be part of the accelerator?
Very simple. What ISRO is doing and what ISRO can do, I think you need not duplicate it. You should do something new.
So let me talk to you, Samir, about the program itself. Could you give us some details with regard to how many startups you're looking at, what the duration of the program would be? Can you take us through the basic contours of what Varnam will entail?
Yeah, so the idea is to keep the program a little bit fluid, not like be rigid. So because each startup comes with its own challenges. Of course, there are common things like go-to-market strategy is a module, right? Technically, they are at different stages or solving different problems. It could be satellite manufacturing to satellite launch services to other space applications, right? So we will. What we at Varnam are trying to do is also try and get more specific with that startup and try and solve the particular problem.
Right. Do you have a number in mind in terms of how many startups you want to get onto the accelerator?
Yes, ideally. And the reason why I think the need in Tamil Nadu itself is enough for us to just focus on Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
I'm not saying we will not look beyond Tamil Nadu. Ideally, we're looking at about 6 to 7 startups in the span of about 6 to 8 months.
In terms of avenues for funding and more exposure to venture capital, how does the accelerator hope to bridge that gap and help that number grow? And what is your outlook on this?
See, like I said, we are an early stage accelerator. We are getting to them at a point or meeting them at a point where they are trying still to figure a minimum viable product, and so our job is essentially to prime them up to make sure that their MVP is ready, their storytelling is great enough, and they are at the right stage with the right kind of money to go for the big boys or the big funding. Right?
The recent union budget allocated a 1,000 crore rupee venture capital fund that the government of India was helping put together. There were some critics, much like Mr. Mohandas Pai himself, who said that 1,000 crore was not enough and that there could be a lot more funding that the government could help create for space startups in India. Would you necessarily agree? Do you think that a lot more ought to be done for space startups in the country?
Honestly, the funding is not sufficient, but the point is we have to see how successful we are in even spending this 1,000 crores. So I honestly, I am not sure, because as I told you, the startups which I am looking at is something which I am not very happy about. So let us see how this is. You see, actually depends on the program. The 1,000 crores is sufficient or not is to be seen with respect to how many startups are coming, and how many are looking for the venture capital, and whether it is worth it. All kinds of things you have to see.
On that note, we're going to wrap up this edition of Startup Street. Thanks for watching. Stay with us for more news and updates on the other side.